Iran's President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad says an American journalist appealing a court conviction should be allowed full defense during her appeal. Roxana Saberi was convicted of espionage on Friday and sentenced to 8 years in prison. Saberi's case puts a strain on diplomacy between Washington and the governments in Washington and Tehran at a time when the two sides appear to be willing to begin a new relationship.
The President is deeply disappointed at this news. His thoughts and prayers are with her and her family.
Saberi's father said his daughter was not allowed proper defense during her one-day closed trial a week ago. He also said she was tricked into making incriminating statements and worries now about her health in detention. Saberi was arrested in January, accused of working without press credentials, but was later charged with spying. For more now, joining us on the line is human rights advocate Nazanin Afshin-Jam. She is attending a summit on human rights, tolerance, and democracy in Geneva. Ms. Afshin-Jam, what do you know about this case?
I've heard about Roxana Saberi when she was first arrested in January. She is a freelance journalist. She's worked in the past for BBC and NPR. And the first time she was arrested, they accused her of buying a bottle of wine illegally. But then it changed to her being illegally arrested for not having proper accreditation as a journalist. And the most recent thing she was accused of is espionage, which led to a charge of 8 years. Now, these are, of course, trumped-up charges because, as we know, as I have contacts who have worked with her in the past, they know that she was just there to study and to learn more about what was going on with women's rights activities, and she even felt like she was being followed months prior, which means that she would not have bought any bottles of wine or the other things I had mentioned.
What do you know, if anything, about the prison in which she's being held?
I'm not sure exactly where she's held. I do know that the trial that had just taken place, where she was charged with espionage, it was just a sham trial, lasted a few minutes. Her lawyer, Abdulsamad Khorramshahi, who has been representing her, said that he did not have a proper chance to represent her.
Are there other cases you're tracking with your organization?
Definitely. I'm the co-founder of Stop Child Executions organization, and we're covering the stories of 140 children who are currently on death row in Iran. In particular, one girl, Delara Darabi, who's facing execution tomorrow unless the international community makes noise on her case. Of course, there's the continued persecution of ethnic and religious minorities, the detainment of women for protest against discrimination, students and web bloggers being detained for saying anything remotely anti-regime, and even the case of another American Iranian who went to Iran to make a documentary on women's rights, Isha Moemi from California, who's still being detained.
You're hoping to have an opportunity to speak with Iran's president tomorrow.
I certainly am. Tomorrow is the opening of the Durban Review Conferences. Iran is acting as co-chair for this conference. Ironically, Libya is chair for this conference on anti-racism. And I'm hoping I'm going to have a chance to attend the press conference held by Ahmadinejad and ask him direct and poignant questions on human rights abuses taking place in Iran, as well as specifically asking him about Roxana Saberi's case and, of course, the young juvenile on death row, Delara Darabi, who's subjected to be executed tomorrow.
I'm curious to know, in the case of Ms. Saberi, what do you think is going to be the outcome?
I believe they will keep her in prison for less than a year, even though she's been charged for 8 years. I think they're using this to instill fear on the population, and even perhaps using it as a bargaining chip to use with Americans for future negotiations, as Obama had made an address about her. And I think they know that this is an important case for them. And with the recent peace talks that Obama has been having with Iran, trying to negotiate some deals, I think they're holding on to this for a while, but in the end, I think it'll turn out to be a case like American Iranian scholar Haleh Esfandiari and Canadian Iranian scholar Ramin Jahanbegloo, who were detained in Iran on charges of espionage and acting against national security. I believe they might do some forced confessions. She might have to spend some time in prison, but I don't think it'll be too long before she's out because of all the international pressure.
I appreciate your optimism. Human rights advocate Nazanin Afshin-Jam, thanks for this.
Thank you.